Hey guys, welcome back for your daily crypto forecast. And today I'm going to be doing Bitcoin BTC USD and Ethereum USD, which was the winner from the poll yesterday. Before I start, I want to go over this tweet that I shared yesterday, very quick here, because this is going to be relevant for my technical analysis for BTC and Ethereum today, and in fact for any other coin or even any other market, even if it's not crypto. So this is important. This is exactly the 4 signals that I'm looking for to spot the bottom. And until I don't see these 4 signals, I'm not going to be calling bottoms, probably. So number 1 is capitulation. We all know what capitulation is. It's a very sharp move down, very vertical with very high volume here. And it usually happens at the end after going down for quite some time. You get, boom, the final capitulation. If we have a rally now, if we go up and we bounce any significant amount and we have a vertical drop down, that is not capitulation, that is profit taking. Capitulation happens after a downtrend. It doesn't happen after a big bounce. If there's a big bounce and then a sharp drop, this is people taking profit. This is not people panic selling at the bottom. So capitulation happens after a downtrend, not after a rally. And it's, a vertical move down with high volume. So that's the first signal. We saw this already. We did have capitulation all over the crypto markets. Some coins more than others. For example, the capitulation for Bitcoin BTC hasn't been as sharp as for other altcoins, but we've seen capitulation. Now, is this the final capitulation? Was this the bottom? Well, we will find out soon, guys. If the number 2 signal doesn't happen, then we know we will probably see more capitulation in the future. If the signal number 2 happens, but then the signal number 3 doesn't happen, then we know we will probably have more capitulation in the future, and so on. So for now, we have seen capitulation. We still don't know if it was final capitulation. We will not know until all the signs complete. Sign number 2 is 70% to 100% bounce with V shape. So it's exactly this here. You see, it's a sharp bounce. All the big money, smart money is they all have their buy signals right at the bottom, and this causes the price to bounce, very vertical, doing a V-shaped bottom. And the higher it is, the better. If it's anywhere, 100% or more bounce with V shape, that's, a very good sign that it could have been the bottom. Now, if the bounce gets to 100%, but it's not sharp, it's not a V-shaped bottom, it's like, for example, it goes up 20% and then it goes sideways for a week and then it goes down a little bit and then it bounces back up. Even if it makes the target at 100% bounce, that is not a bottom of the market type structure. So it has to be a very sharp bounce in a few candles, make it to like 100% bounce or something like that, or at least 75 or 100. Because if it goes, as I said in this previous bounce here that Bitcoin had at the bottom of the bear market in 2015, the first capitulation here, this bounce was like 40% or less, and you see that it goes all the way back down almost to the bottom, and then it goes up and it's sideways, and it's like, yes, I want to get there, but I'm like struggling. This is not this is not how bottom structures look usually. So that's why, we've seen capitulation, but we still don't know. Now we're going to find out soon if this bounce is going to be strong enough. It's going to be like a bottom of the market type of structure, or it'll be like grinding up, like in this case, because if this starts to happen now, then we know we will probably see more capitulation in the future. Now, number 3 is after we get this V-shaped bounce, we obviously need to have a correction, but the correction should not be more than 50%, 50% or less correction, and consolidate at that level. That would be like almost, very strong sign that low could have been the bottom. So we gotta wait for that. Usually, what you want to see after the V-shape bottom, what you would like to see is not a vertical drop down, but like slowly going down, and but if it goes down altogether, like vertical, like it happened here in Bitcoin, if you see a vertical drop like this, you really don't want to see it going lower than 50%. So I'm just explaining how bottom of the markets are in general in crypto, in traditional markets, and in this case, Bitcoin here, it did drop vertically, but usually what you see is like a V-shaped bottom and then like a slow bleed down, like slowly going down. You see there's not that much selling pressure anymore. And then it'll make it to, maybe 50% of the bounce, something like that. Maybe a little bit lower, but more or less. And then never make it to the previous low and then start uptrending. So that's how bottom of the markets look usually. And then number 4 is, this would be the ultimate signal, is breaking the downtrend resistance line that's been dictating the whole bear market, for the whole year so far. So breaking out of this line would be the last, signal, the ultimate signal. It would be very, very, very likely the bottom was in the previous low. And then I said here, retested later. This is not really a signal. Don't wait for this because this might never happen. This is just, if it happens that it breaks out and then it retraces to test it, that's, you can take that as an opportunity to buy this dip. If you missed the breakout, for example, this is like the second opportunity you get in trading sometimes to re-enter here if you missed your previous entry. But it's not like a signal that you want to wait for, because this sometimes happens and sometimes it doesn't happen. So whenever you want to ask yourself, did my coin hit bottom? Well, come back to this chart and see if all these things have happened. Because for Bitcoin, we are not even close from this. For Bitcoin, we did see capitulation, but we didn't have a high enough bounce with V-shape. But for other coins, we did see this already. For example, Bitcoin Cash yesterday, with the vertical bounce yesterday, it hit $150 from the low that was $75. So we did see a 100% bounce with V-shape. So this could have, there's one more sign that we could have seen the bottom. Of course, not yet guaranteed. Now we have to see how it retraces, if the number 3 will complete and if the number 4 will complete. And the number 4 is very far away. Bitcoin Cash is very far away from the main downtrend resistance. So no, don't get too excited, but I'm paying attention and I'm looking at these signs, and you can use this for any coin, for Bitcoin Cash, Ripple, Ethereum, Bitcoin, any market really. So that's that. Then another thing I wanted to address before I start is, I'm getting this question like a lot. Like every day I get private messages, I get comments on YouTube, on Twitter, from my premium members as well. Everybody's asking the same question. Because now everything is bouncing, because now people have gone through the pain of capitulation selling and have gone through the pain of a 90% correction during a bear market. Now people are so scared that they're wondering if they should sell everything now in this bounce. And I get this question a lot. I got it for Bitcoin Cash, I got this question for Ripple, I got this question for EOS. So whatever your coin is, if you are tempted to sell everything on this bounce because you want to try and catch it cheaper later, my not financial advice is, think about it twice, because in the big picture we are very, very oversold. So we might get lower, but we might not. So I mean, unless you bought this dip, this last bottom, unless you bought the dip and now you are in massive profits, then by all means, take profit. Or if you need the money urgently to pay bills or for whatever important thing, then of course, if you really need the money, then by all means sell some. But if your intention is to sell now this bounce because you want to try to catch the bottom, I would not do that. We are already very low. Timing the markets is extremely difficult. We might never get lower prices. I still think, at least for Bitcoin, I think there's still room to go down, and for others, but we are super low already. So maybe we will actually not see lower prices. And even if we do see slightly lower prices, do you think you will be able to catch it? Maybe by the time this happens, you will be sleeping, you will be this will happen very fast, and reality is no one knows when this is going to happen. So selling your long-term holdings now in this bounce with the intention of buying for cheaper later, I think is super risky. I personally wouldn't do it. So that's my not financial advice here. And now let's get into the charts. So I have here the Bitcoin daily, and I wanted to show this time frame just for you to pay attention to this trend line, which, you know, everybody knows this line. It comes from the very beginning of the bull market here in 2015, and it was broken recently. So just pay attention to this line because it'll be important for the next time frames. And that's it. I'm going to go straight to the 4 hours here. If you want to know about the longer term time frames, weekly and monthly, watch my video from yesterday or my previous videos. Every day I do those time frames. I have nothing new to say, so I'm not going to spend time on that today. So I'm going to do the 4 hours here. So now this is bouncing. Yesterday, well, we have been talking about this descending wedge for a while now. It broke out a couple days ago, 3. And then it got stuck at 3.5, but we finally broke. We finally broke above it decisively. Volume is increasing now, as we can see, so this is looking very strong. It's just breaking through every moving average and every resistance like nothing, so it's looking strong. However, our target, remember, from this descending wedge is at 4,160, so I have been saying between 4,000 and 4,200 this should be target, and we could be seeing a sell-off. If you're very greedy and you want to ride it a little longer, I would, you know, if it was me, I would be taking profit already for sure at 4,000 or 4,200 if I was playing the short-term movements, which I am not, because I have a life outside crypto as well, so I'm not playing these little moves here now. I will do it during the bull market when it's confirmed. But since the volatility is optimal for trading now, and I know people are interested in knowing targets and short-term trading, this is what I can read, or what I would do. I would be taking profit between 4,000 and 4,200, and then if you want to ride it and be a little bit more greedy, pay attention, because this trend line up here is the trend line that I was showing you that comes from all the way from 2015, since the beginning of the previous bull market, and it was broken recently. It was retested here and rejected. Let's see. I would say there's a huge chance it's gonna be retested and rejected again. Of course, I don't have a crystal ball. Maybe it'll just blast through it like nothing, and we will go to the next one here at 5,000. But if I was personally playing the short-term movement, I would be paying attention to this trend line here and taking profit for sure around there. As I said, I would even be taking profit before at 4,000 or 4,200. I'm not that greedy, to be honest, especially if you're already in profits because you bought the dip. So that's what I got for Bitcoin short term. Moving on to the EOS versus the US dollar chart. So what we have here, remember guys, my last update for Ethereum, I said the final target, potential bottom, it was between $50 and $60, and it's still perfectly in play. So not because we are bouncing now, it means this target it's not relevant anymore. It still is. And talking about bottom structures, what I was explaining before at the beginning of the video, let's see what happened here. We did have capitulation, so number one, check. The volume is absolutely capitulation volume, and the drop in price is absolutely capitulation in price as well. So, but let's see. We have number one, capitulation, check. Let's see, number two was V-shaped bottom with a bounce of between 75 and 100%. So let's see. This was from bottom to so far. This is only 35% bounce. It's not even close to 70% bounce. So if this gets now to, let's say, 40% bounce, and it starts correcting heavily, you know, wanting to go near the bottom again, and then yes, continue the uptrend, but like struggling to do it, this is probably not going to be the bottom. Now, If it does make a 70 or 100% bounce, then we'll take it from there, right? Then I will say, okay, we have one more signal here. We could have actually seen the bottom. So far, it's not here. When it is, I will talk about it. But so far, the target at $50 or $60 down here, it's still perfectly in play for the little bit longer term here. So what else do I have for this time frame? These two lines here at 140 and at 165, and these are the two obvious resistance that I would assume the price to reject from there if it even gets that high. But these are the only two lines I can see in this time frame. Actually, here there's another one at 130 more or less, but my two lines up here, they come from the past. They were significant support and resistance lines before. This top one here, it has this touch here and this main touch here and here also. So these lines come from the past because I am in the daily candles. That's the lows and the highs that I can see in this time frame. If we go into smaller time frames, I'll probably be able to see more support and resistance lines and levels. But for this time frame, all that I can see is these two. One is at 140, and if this one is made, which we're still far from there, but if this one is made, I would expect resistance there. And if that one breaks in the upside, then I would expect resistance in the next one up. And also the first one at 140 is exactly where we have the 50-day moving average, which is the blue line here, is going to be at around this price by the time the price gets up here, if it gets up here. So it's going to be double strong resistance. Not only is a resistance level from the past very significant, it also will be the 50 period moving average. So watch for 140, it's supposed to be strong resistance. Moving on to the 1 hour for Ethereum, this is looking really, really strong, but at the same time getting out of control a little bit. But you can't deny this uptrend here right now. So now it's a little bit extended, but we have a clear uptrend here, guys. So long as this holds, continue to follow the trend, for these small time frames. So long as it's going up, now it's about to touch resistance, so we will see. It might go sideways for a little bit more, and then when it touches support again, it'll bounce again. So guys, for the short-term trading, follow the trend, right? You buy support, sell resistance, buy support, sell resistance, especially if it's touching support. And it's not only the support of the channel, you also have the main moving averages here, which is the case completely, like we're bouncing on moving averages and forming this perfect parallel channel up. So follow the trend until it breaks. I expect this to continue to go higher. Where will we find a stronger resistance here? Well, take your resistance levels from here. There's an obvious one right now. Then the next one up, I'd say here. You get your, if the line had three or more touches, it's a valid support and resistance line. So these are all your levels where you could, if you want, take profit. 115, 121, 128, and then 140. This is the level, but so long as the trend continues up, you can continue to trade continuation for the, for the very short term trading, for the day trading. Once this trend line breaks in the downside at whatever level, whatever level it makes it, maybe it'll make it up to 140. Whenever that is, that you see this line breaking, significantly, then you stop going long and you just wait, and you don't go long or short, you wait for the next signal to the side. But these are your most immediate levels. Guys, that's all that I got for you today. I'm receiving a lot of people, I'm receiving a lot of requests from people to look at this coin, look at the other coin. I don't have the time to do, videos for every coin, every day here. I do Bitcoin BTC and some other coin, but for more updates, you guys can go to my website. I will be posting here. I update on Twitter and on Telegram as well when it's something short. If I only need to show a picture of the chart with you know, a little bit of explanation. I do this on Twitter or on Telegram, but if it's something longer that it's not gonna fit in one tweet, I will, you know, I do posts on my website with few images and a little bit longer text. So, you know, if you want update, if you are really interested in these updates, come to the website and just drop your email here, and this is free subscription. I don't send any spam or anything. This is only an email. You will receive an email notification when I publish content on my website. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow right here. Bye.